after an extended period of 213 days away from public scrutiny, Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, has reportedly been located at an exclusive ski resort situated within the picturesque Austrian Alps. Her discovery brings an end to a significant span during which her whereabouts remained entirely unknown, prompting widespread speculation across various international locations regarding her status. This development marks her first documented appearance since a notable departure from public life, with her last known public engagement being the funeral of the Duchess of Kent at Westminster Cathedral on September 16, 2025. Reports detail that a blacked-out Mercedes People carrier transported the Duchess to a private chalet nestled within an unspecified alpine village, where she was observed disembarking the vehicle. She was described as wearing a blue coat and a white baseball cap, with her characteristic ginger hair concealed beneath the headwear. The luxurious chalet where she has reportedly been residing commands a nightly fee of approximately $2,000, and sources indicate that she has rarely ventured outside its confines since her arrival, maintaining an exceptionally low profile. The prolonged disappearance and subsequent secluded existence of the Duchess are directly linked to escalating pressure from United States lawmakers. These officials have formally requested her testimony regarding her association with Jeffrey Epstein, the convicted sex offender. Insiders familiar with the situation informed The Sun that her decision to remain high up in the Alps and limit her outdoor excursions stems from acute awareness of the scrutiny and potential legal challenges awaiting her. For several months prior to her discovery, numerous unconfirmed reports circulated concerning Ferguson's possible locations, creating a complex trail of conjecture. Countries and regions such as Australia, various Caribbean islands, New York, Switzerland, Portugal, and even the renowned Swiss ski one of Verbia were all cited as potential hiding places for the Duchess. However, it has since been clarified that none of these speculative reports accurately identified her true whereabouts. Sources close to the matter have indicated that Ferguson deliberately disseminated misleading information and laid false breadcrumbs in an effort to divert attention and obscure her actual location. This calculated strategy meant that only a very select and limited group of individuals possessed accurate knowledge of her genuine place of residence during this period of intense public interest and media scrutiny. The intricate web of misdirection highlights the determined efforts made to maintain her privacy. The chain of events that ultimately compelled the Duchess in this period of self-imposed isolation commenced on January 30, 2026, with the public release of a new tranche of documents pertaining the Jeffrey Epstein case by the U.S. Department of Justice. CNN undertook a comprehensive review of dozens of these documents, which form part of the DOJ's extensive Epstein library, revealing significant details about her past communications and interactions. Among the findings, it was reported that Ferguson had, on multiple occasions, expressed commendation for Jeffrey Epstein, even following his 2008 conviction in Florida for soliciting prostitution from a minor. The emails extracted from these recent disclosed God files portray a relationship characterized by a profound personal connection, suggesting a level of attachment that has since drawn considerable public and legal scrutiny. These communications included instances where the Duchess referred Epstein as her spectacular and special friend. In August 2009, she conveyed her gratitude to him, stating that he had been the brother she had always wished for, a sentiment that suggests a deep personal bond. Furthermore, while Epstein was incarcerated, she communicated her pride in him, an expression that has since been widely scrutinized in light of his criminal convictions. By January 2010, the nature of her correspondence reportedly evolved to become even more affectionate. During this period, she penned messages Epstein indicating that she was at his service and, remarkably, even suggested that he marry her. These highly personal and intimate expressions, now public, have fueled extensive discussion regarding the nature and extent of their relationship, particularly given the timeline of events. The context surrounding these messages further complicated their interpretation. The files appear to indicate that Ferguson visited Epstein in Miami just 5 days after his release from prison in 2009. This visit occurred after he had served a 13-month portion of an 18-month sentence, raising questions about the immediacy of their contact following his incarceration and the continuation of their association. Financial records also emerged from the Epstein files, shedding light on monetary transactions and requests involving the Duchess. Records maintained by Epstein's assistant documented British Airways flights purchased for Ferguson in July 2009, tailing an amount exceeding $14,000. These expenditures indicate a financial link and a pattern of assistance provided by Epstein. Additional emails revealed Ferguson directly soliciting financial aid from Epstein. On one occasion, she requested either $50,000 or $100,000 US dollars cover what she described as small bills. Separately, she conveyed an urgent need for $20,000 for the acquisition of a new car, highlighting a reliance on Epstein for significant sums of money manage personal expenses. The files also exposed a particularly challenging financial predicament faced by the Duchess. In the autumn of 2009, she wrote Epstein, urgently requesting $20,000 for rent, explaining that her landlord had issued a threat, disclose her non-payment to the media if the sum was not settled. This detail underscores a period of considerable financial strain and her recourse Epstein for assistance during this difficult time. A stark contrast was revealed between Ferguson's public pronouncements and her private communications concerning Epstein. Despite having publicly criticized him in a newspaper interview where she expressed profound regret and pledged to sever all future ties, she subsequently sent him a private apology. This divergence between her public and private stance has drawn considerable attention and criticism. In April 2011, she penned a message Epstein stating that she must humbly apologize and referred him as a steadfast, generous and supreme friend, both her and her family. This private sentiment directly contradicted her earlier public declaration of disassociation, presenting a complex picture of her true feelings and allegiances regarding the convicted individual. Just 1 month later, the Duchess reportedly reached out Epstein once more, seeking his counsel and advice. This communication occurred prior an anticipated interview with Oprah Winfrey, where she specifically inquired about how he would prefer her address any questions that might arise concerning their relationship. This incident further complicates the narrative of her disengagement from Epstein. The repercussions of these revelations were swift and severe, manifesting within days of the Epstein files' public release. Ferguson's charitable organization, Sarah's Trust, announced its immediate and indefinite shutdown, signaling a significant blow to her philanthropic endeavors and public image. This closure reflected the immediate impact of the damaging information. Further corporate fallout followed rapidly. On February 13th, her company Phoenix Events initiated proceedings for dissolution at Companies House. This was succeeded just 3 days later by the filing of dissolution papers for 5 additional businesses, all of which listed Ferguson as the sole director, indicating a comprehensive dismantling of her commercial ventures. The businesses affected by these dissolutions included Fergie's Farm, La Luna Investments, Solomon Limited, Philanthrepreneur Limited, and Planet Partners Productions Limited. The widespread closure of these entities underscored the profound and immediate commercial ramifications stemming from the revelations contained within the Epstein documents, effectively dismantling her business portfolio. Charitable organizations with which Ferguson had been associated also began to sever their ties almost immediately. Julia's House, a children's hospice, publicly declared that it would be inappropriate for the Duchess continue in her role as a patron, citing the recent controversies as the basis for their decision. This marked a significant withdrawal of support from the charitable sector. In addition, Julia's House, other prominent charities, including the British Heart Foundation and the Children's Literacy Charity, also publicly announced their decision to discontinue their association with Ferguson. This widespread disengagement from her patronages further isolated the Duchess from the philanthropic community and eroded her public standing. Beyond her business and charitable affiliations, Ferguson experienced a significant loss of official honours and royal designations. King Charles had already removed both Ferguson and Andrew from their royal designations in October 2025, a decision that predated the latest Epstein file revelations but indicated a broader pattern of distancing from the monarchy. A second substantial blow, her public honours, occurred on March 26, 2026, when the City of York Council convened and voted unanimously revoke Ferguson's freedom of the city. This honour, originally bestowed upon her as a wedding gift in 1987, was rescinded following a decisive vote that reflected public and official disapproval of her recent associations. During the council debate, Councillor Darryl Smalley articulated the rationale behind the decision with directness. He stated that while the city does not expect recipients of York's highest honour be saints, there is a clear expectation that they should not be best friends of convicted pedophiles, underscoring the gravity of the council's collective judgment. It was noted that Andrew, her former husband, had previously lost his own freedom of the city back in 2022, making Ferguson the second individual within that family have such a significant civic honour withdrawn. This parallel further highlighted the reputational challenges faced by members of the extended royal family, adding the mounting pressure. U.S. lawmakers have formally requested that Ferguson provide testimony under oath before the House Oversight Committee. This official demand indicates the seriousness with which American authorities view her potential role in shedding light on aspects of the Epstein investigation. Congressman Suhas Subramaniam, an active member of the committee tasked with investigating the Epstein case, explicitly stated that Ferguson is believed to possess information relevant to their ongoing inquiry and should therefore provide sworn testimony. This public declaration reinforces the legal imperative behind the request for her appearance. A letter dispatched Ferguson imposed a strict 2-week deadline for her respond to the formal request for testimony. As of the current reports, she has not yet provided any answer or indication of her intentions regarding this demand, prolonging the uncertainty surrounding her cooperation with U.S. authorities. Gloria Allred, a prominent lawyer representing several of Epstein's victims, publicly declared that the contents of the files unequivocally demonstrate that Ferguson cannot be considered a victim in this complex narrative. This statement from a legal representative for the victims adds a critical perspective to the ongoing public discourse surrounding the Duchess's involvement. Conversely, media lawyer Jonathan Code, who has previously represented Ferguson, offered a differing legal opinion, insisting that there is no realistic prospect of her travelling the US. He asserted that no legal mechanism currently exists that could compel her testimony in the United States, suggesting a potential legal impasse in the efforts to secure her appearance. Prior her reported relocation to the Austrian Alps, Ferguson's trail reportedly led through Switzerland. Information indicates that she checked in the exclusive Paracelsus Recovery Clinic in Zurich shortly after Christmas and remained there until the close of January 2026, seeking a period of intensive personal support. The Paracelsus Recovery Clinic is known for its high fees, reportedly charging up $100,000 per week for its services. Sources described the Duchess as being tally-broken by the extensive fallout and public condemnation that resulted from the revelations contained within the Epstein files, necessitating such a costly and secluded retreat. Ferguson had a previous association with the Paracelsus Clinic, having visited it on at least one prior occasion. She had even recorded a testimonial for its YouTube channel, in which she described the facility as a place where she feels not judged, highlighting her personal connection and reliance on its environment for emotional support. Upon her departure from the Zurich clinic, Ferguson's personal housing situation reportedly deteriorated entirely. Royal Lodge, which had served as her home alongside Andrew since 2008, was no longer an option, as King Charles had issued an order for both of them vacate the residence, signalling a further distancing from royal properties. While Andrew subsequently relocated the Sandringham estate, Ferguson reportedly attempted secure alternative accommodation within the Windsor area. However, she found herself unable to locate any suitable residence that met the standards of her former 30-room dwelling, indicating a significant downgrade in her living arrangements and comfort. During this period of housing instability, she reportedly sought refuge by staying with various friends, including the notable figure of Priscilla Presley. However, other acquaintances reportedly declined to offer her accommodation, signalling a broader reluctance among her social circle associated with her during such a contentious time. An insider close to the situation conveyed the prevailing sentiment, stating that everyone is telling her that now is not a good time, reflecting the widespread perception that her presence could bring unwanted attention or complications. This suggests a significant social isolation coinciding with her professional and personal crises. Even her own daughters have reportedly maintained a degree of distance regarding their mother's housing plight. Princess Eugenie, who divides her time between Kensington Palace and a villa in Portugal, has not extended instead an offer for her mother reside with her permanently, indicating a cautious approach within the immediate family. A source explained the reasoning behind this familial distancing, noting that since Andrew's loss of his royal title, the princesses are now considered the only members of the family who are real royals. Therefore, the paramount priority has become keeping them as far removed from the ongoing scandal as possible, safeguard their royal standing. One source succinctly summarized the overarching impact of the Epstein file revelations, stating that they have hit like a sledgehammer. This powerful metaphor captures the devastating and comprehensive nature of the fallout on Ferguson's life, leading her prolonged retreat from public view and engagements. The same source indicated that Sarah has not wanted to be seen by anyone, a sentiment that directly explains her decision to remain in hiding. She is described as effectively burying her head in the sand and choosing hide away for as long as possible, illustrating her profound desire to avoid the public eye and the intense scrutiny. Despite her efforts remain out of sight, the demands for her engage with authorities continue to intensify with each passing day. The public and legal pressure for her provide clarity on her past associations and actions remains a significant and unresolved aspect of her current predicament, ensuring that the issue remains prominent. It is important to note that Ferguson has not been formally accused of any crimes directly related to Jeffrey Epstein, and her mere appearance within the released files does not, in itself, constitute an implication of wrongdoing on her part. This distinction is crucial in understanding the nature of the pressure she faces. The Duchess has previously made public statements asserting that she would never have anything to do with Jeffrey Epstein ever again, and that she abhors pedophilia and any sexual abuse of children. These public declarations aim to distance her from Epstein's crimes and express her condemnation of such acts. However, the documents that have recently come light have exposed a private relationship that appears directly contradict every one of those public statements. This profound discrepancy between her stated public position and her documented private interactions now serves as a defining characteristic of what many observers believe could represent the final chapter of her life in the public